it's not solely on the players. It's organizational dysfunction from the lowest of low rungs all the way through the top.
Here we go. It's White Sox Dave celebrating the big one-game win streak. I'm jealous I wasn't with you guys at NASCAR, but you can follow him at Barstool WSD. And AJ, do you want to intro this segment? Do you have your prop ready?
Let's go. Hey, listen, I had a hard time finding champagne. It doesn't even pop. Look, it didn't even pop. It's screw off. But Dave,
that was such a White Sox pop.
Dave, since you didn't bring any champagne, the streak is over, pal. Cheers.
I got this. Does this work? It's a full bottle of vodka.
Yeah, it'll count if you drink it all by the end of this segment.
Maybe I'll try. That's what they do to us. They make us drink. They make us drink.
All right, so I got to ask, how was Oakland? Because you were out there.
So,
how was it?
I was out there on Monday. First time at the beautiful Coliseum. The way I described it is I did a tour of a World War II fort that was 100 meters underground right on the French and German border a couple months ago. It's a fully concrete and reinforced steel. That's what it felt like being in the Coliseum. It was incredible, though. It was perfectly dumpy. It had such a weird, gross charm to it, and I loved it. And I love the fan base. I feel for those guys.
The fans out there are awesome. Listen, the fans that were there, they are unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, they don't get a lot of them, but those 2,000 to 3,000 that are there that are out in the outfield doing the whole thing, I mean, it's amazing. It is a great fan base, and they deserve better than what they have gotten. But you had your Sell the Team Jerry shirt on, didn't you? So you had to find some friends of yours with the green Sell shirts.
Yeah, it wasn't – like usually when you go to a sporting event, doesn't matter, baseball, football, whatever, you're at war with the other fan base. This was more of a joining of arms. It was like that meme on the internet where the two guys are locking fists because we both hate our organizations right now. The A's obviously aren't existing in their current form in a few weeks from now, and the White Sox are the most embarrassing organization in sports. And so, yeah, we both want our teams to do different and have new ownership. I wish it were as easy as that.
Yeah, it's not. So how do you cope in the meantime? Because, I mean, you're in a club where, unfortunately, I would say about half of Major League fans are. Yeah, exactly. You keep pouring. Half of Major League fans feel your pain to some degree, Dave. Not to the highest degree, but like we just had a whole segment on the Pirates. Trust me, dude, that's not fun either. I mean, they've had, I would say, a pretty similar line of success and failure. I mean, a little bit less because you guys at least pulled off a World Series in the 21st century. So how do you cope, and what are the bright spots now that they got through this losing skid? Did you like the trade deadline? What do you think's going to happen for this team to turn it around?
This is a at least half decade fix, I'd say. And like when we talked a few weeks back at NASCAR, like I didn't have an answer. I still don't. I know it's a multi-year. They're going to lose 100 games next year, and they might be a little better the year after. But I mean, we're not looking at an organization who is hell-bent on victory and winning at all costs. And to me, that's an issue, not just with the White Sox per se, but all of baseball. And there's a small handful of teams that it's World Series or bust every year. It's get the best free agents or bust every year. And to me, that's an issue with baseball as a whole. And on a White Sox microscopic level, I mean, the owner fired the front office last August, about a year ago, looked at the fan base in their face through the media and said, I owe it to you guys to make this get better as fast as possible, I think was the exact quote. And not only did they not do that, Chris Getz built what might go down as the worst roster in the history of baseball. And it's embarrassing, and I don't know what the fix is other than Jerry Reinsdorf opening the purse strings and saying, hey, Theo, we want you to come do what you did with the Red Sox and Cubs. Like, that's the only thing I have, and I know that's never going to happen in a million years, but that's like the only thing that I can think of at this moment that could maybe fix the Sox for the rest of, like, until Jerry until Father Time wins against Jerry Reinsdorf, which it happens with everybody, obviously. So that's like my one thing that I can think of.
Okay,
It's
so I have to ask this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think this whole thing is your fault? Because since you came on with us in NASCAR until last night, they were 1-23. So did you ever think maybe it was your fault and you just had to go to a game to make them win a game?
I think that this whole thing might be my fault. Like I fall asleep at night staring at the ceiling. Like, where did I go wrong in this whole mess? I don't know if you guys saw it. I got into it with John Cusack a few years ago before the White Sox playoff game against the Astros, the Lurie Garcia game. That was basically the height of my fandom since 2005. Was that Lurie Garcia game and that confrontation with John Cusack? But I think that confrontation with Cusack kind of led to all of this in a weird way. Like it makes sense in my head. I know I'm not eloquently saying it, but like I think that was like the axis shifting, me calling him a fair weather fan that one fateful evening a couple Octobers ago.
What's sad? Hey, you know what's sad is that's the Lurie Garcia game, right? People refer to that as like, man, this was like the height of White Sox fandom, right? I mean, why don't we call it the Kane guy game? Remember the Kane guy had the Kane?
Yeah,
like,
we could call it that. Yeah.
I mean, he got a bobblehead out of it. I mean,
going to bring us like multiple World Series. Didn't happen.
True. All right, so I have to ask you this, Dave, since we are in political season and Scott loves when I get political.
I do too.
Do I have your vote? Do I have your vote for White Sox manager?
You absolutely do. So long as you do hire Brian Anderson in some form, player development director, bench coach. He's a vibes guy. I know that. I love Brian.
How about going out coordinator for the team?
He'd be great at that. Here's a quick story. So I was supposed to hang out with him in Arizona a few years ago. And he's like, yeah, we'll go to all clubs. We'll do all the great things. And he starts ghosting me. I see him at a restaurant, a little family bar in Scottsdale, Arizona. He was picking up a bunch of takeout food, and I'm like, yo, what's going on, man? Why don't you respond to me? He goes, my mom's making me do yard work in the morning. I can't go out. So I don't know if he'd be great at that anymore, AJ.
True. He's changed. He has changed. He's grown up, and he actually has a family now. I mean, he's definitely changed. But you saw on Twitter, him and I got into it when this all came out. And he's like, you know, what? He made some comment. I said, well, there goes your chance of being a coach on my staff. He didn't like that very much.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe don't start him at coach. Maybe just like, I don't know, bat boy and work his way up, you know? He'd be like Strubin.
Hey.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Dave, I want some more drama. So can you take me inside what's been going on between the media and, you know, the broadcast and the whole deal with reports coming out from some of the radio dudes? Like, I don't know the local radio scene there well. And some of this has to do with the story about, like, you can enlighten our national audience on, you know, how they called out Grifol and how he's making guys do sprints. You know, give us the whole storyline there and where we're at.
So there's two main sports talk stations in Chicago. There's AM 670 and ESPN 1000. I have a lot of friends that work for both stations, and one of my good friends, Shane, at 670 The Score, he has some source, I don't know who it is or who it was in the White Sox dugout, that he's feeding them info. Obviously, some of that info is negative about John Schriffen, the White Sox new announcer, and they like trade barbs on the broadcast. Like, it's kind of like you won't catch it unless you're looking for it. Like, oh, how about that? Write a stupid report about that. So it comes off to me as really elementary on both ends. I think it's stupid. As far as the White Sox are concerned, I think the booth is the least of their worries. But Schriffen, we're used as White Sox fans having a White Sox fan call our games for us. Schriffen is not a born-bred White Sox fan, and he's trying really hard to come off as that White Sox fan in spite of all the losing they're doing this year. And it's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And the 670's kind of taken exception to it. So they'll make fun of him. He'll make fun of them on the broadcast, and they just trade barbs on social media. I kind of stay out of it because the White Sox as a whole gross me out. I don't like talking about them, but It's just petty arguing on social media. I think it's embarrassing. It would be embarrassing if they weren't losing as much as they are. That's obviously the story, is the 21 games in a row they just lost. If they were even a 500 team or a little worse than that, this would be a much bigger problem, because you shouldn't have one of your flagship stations talking trash about the announcer and then having him, like, just don't do it. It comes off as like JV garbage to me.
Big shout out to America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh, for helping us eat good during this busy time of the year for us. With HelloFresh, you get pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. It's home cooking made easy, fun, and affordable.
HelloFresh makes it easy, even for picky eaters like Scott. There's a changing menu of 50 recipes to choose from each week. Customize it to fit your taste. There's protein and veggie swap options too. The recipes are easy to follow. Just choose your delivery day, open your box, cook, and eat.
My house is busy with sports, but family dinners are important. My fam eats better, healthier, and we cook so much easier with HelloFresh.
And for a limited time, kids eat free. Go to HelloFresh.com/FTKids to unlock this exclusive offer. 1 free kids meal per box for 2 months while subscription is active. That's free kids meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/FTKids.
Yeah, it seems petty. That's why I asked. I don't really.
It's petty wars.
I don't understand it. Like, you just take the high road and ignore it. And yeah, if you have a report, that's different. Go for it. So, okay, next layer. Why is Pedro Grifol still managing the team in your mind? Because I know also I've seen the reports from some of the dudes on the score that are like, are they trying to like punish him and they don't want someone else to be put in this situation right now? I look at it differently. I'm like, you do have a future. It might not be the brightest future, but you want to call a couple prospects up and you don't want to put them in this scenario. That usually also includes a change in leadership. I've known Charlie Montoyo for years. I don't know how he's currently doing there, but I think he's good. He's a guy who can come in and be a nice interim manager for a couple months. You know, whether he's the guy for the future, I don't know. They can figure that in the offseason. But you would think in this scenario where you've also had some pretty negative reports, you've had players kind of call back out the manager for saying things at weird times, that there would be a change at this point to kind of give your players a little sign of hope and have their backs more than maybe the manager has had. Because it does seem like the manager is more management focused than player focused. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's completely fair. I try not to take what any coach or player says when they have a microphone shoved in front of their face and they don't have a chance to like think about an answer they're going to give when they're on the spot like that. On that note, I like, even if so, multiple times over this season, Pedro Grifol has gone and said Jerry Reinsdorf wants nothing but to win. He wants nothing but success for the White Sox. He's super competitive, all this, all that. And like, what, even if that is true, White Sox fans don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear you carrying water for the owner that is responsible for both chasing away MJ and, you know, buck stops with him. He's the owner. It's been a bad organization since 2005, basically. So, and then at the same time, I don't want to judge him on that because he's got microphones shoved in his face. However, don't tell us that because we don't want to hear that. Just shut up, give your cookie canned answer, and go play the next game. And have your players' backs. And all these reports saying like this is solely on the players. It's not solely on the players. It's not solely on the players. It's organizational dysfunction from the lowest of low rungs all the way through the top. But take accountability. You're not good at this. Don't tell me you're good at it in the media. Like, I don't want to hear any of that stuff. Give me your cookie cutter canned answers and shut up. Just shut up. That's all. That's it. Shut up. You know, I don't want to hear how competitive Jerry Reinsdorf is or how we're going to get him the next day. Like, shut up. Say, hey, we got our asses kicked today. We stink right now. Don't lie to my face. I don't think that's a very unreasonable ask as a fan.
Okay, you're making me laugh. All right, I got to ask, are you coming to the games this weekend?
I don't plan on it, no. Actually, I have a charity wiffle ball.
Oh, wiffle ball. I'm sure you're great at it. I was going to say, come Saturday, say hi to me. I'm calling the game on Saturday night, so I was hoping you'd be around. You'd come say hi. We could, share a campfire milkshake that, by the way, was interesting. All right, so are you gonna change your name to Chicago Bears, Dave, now because you're wearing a Bears hat?
I don't wear White Sox apparel anymore unless it's that sell the team shirt. Because I don't like walking around having to have the conversation I'm having with you right now about, and because it just fires me up and gets me.
Hey, don't
angry.
be a fair weather fan. Don't be a fair weather fan.
No, here's the thing. Like, so I was asking A's fans this weekend, like, are you following the team to Vegas when they eventually move there? I know they have the Sacramento weird gray area, but when they moved, and they're like, absolutely not. Like, I will never step foot into that stadium. Like, they're dead to me. Baseball is dead to me. I can't jump ship to another. Like, I am a White Sox fan till the day I die. I'm the captain of the Titanic, no matter how low they get. And this is pretty low, I'd say, of a season. I will sink with them. I will never root for anybody else. I just hate what they've become to the point where I don't like talking about them unless I have to, which it's my job to, so I have to. So that's why I'm wearing the Bears hat. And I think the Bears are going to be fun this year.
Okay, so last question before we let you go.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch? Well, it's two questions. Did you watch Hard Knocks last night? And
I did.
Do the Bears make the playoffs this year with Caleb Williams?
I think they do. And that's an awesome division. Historically, it hasn't been a great division, but every team in it's pretty good this year. And I still think the Bears make a run. That, loaded with weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Caleb Williams, obviously, ton of hype around him. We'll see. I think, like, if it weren't for them, like, I don't know what I'd do. I don't know what I would do as a sports fan. All of Chicago sports are just in the gutter right now. Thank God for the Bears, though.
There you go. It's that time of year where depressed baseball fans can move on. So, Dave, good to have you on.
Thanks for having me, fellas. Anytime. I thought it was a little boring last night. Hard Knocks.
I'd like a more lit celebration, right? Like, play to it. Have fun. Be like, hey, we're on a 1-game win streak. Let's ride this out. It's just life. Mm-hmm. So, at least we celebrated. Yeah, there you go. AJ went out and got that twisty cap.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.